I already had a headache before this game, and it's just completely worse now. Oh my god, that was terrible, wasn't it? Um, where do I even start? We just lost 2-1 at home to Östersund. Östersund. Ellen would kill me trying to pronounce it. Ellen's Swedish. I keep asking her. I keep forgetting how to pronounce it. But we've lost against the better side. They were, oh well, at times they were better. They weren't better the whole game. But ultimately, it doesn't matter in the end. The 2-1 loss doesn't matter. We have progressed thanks to a 3-0 away win last time out, which was, it proves to be very important. Getting those away goals is absolutely vital in any European competition. And thank God that we did, because that was, tonight was embarrassing. Imagine if we got knocked out. Imagine if we lost 2-1 tonight and that was enough to put Östersund through. I would have to stay off the internet for a couple of weeks. Oh, my head. Just watching that game, I watched the Man United game last night. That was boring. But at least it wasn't painful, Watching Arsenal as an Arsenal fan, and probably for everyone else actually, is a painful experience. We are so bad at times, it is comical. Holding and Chambers in defence is basically like watching clowns. They don't know what they're doing. It's completely amazing to see someone like Holding, who when we first got him, I remember he started last season really, really well because we had so many injuries in defence he had to play. And Chambers, when he first joined, he looked good, right? What's happened? Chambers, I kind of see... I see something in him. I think he does definitely have the potential to be a really good player. And, when he was out on loan last year, he did really well. But that was awful tonight. He kind of recovered it throughout the rest of the game, but Holding was just... I know they're close mates in real life, but you wouldn't know it on the pitch. They do not know what they're doing. They communicate a lot, but I think they must be speaking a different language to each other because they don't know where the other one is. They don't know who should cover who. Not that I'm a defensive expert, of course I'm not, but you can see by just watching the game when centre-backs are not gelling. They were all over the place in that first half. We conceded 2 goals in a minute, less than a minute or just over a minute. It's just a shambles. Bellerin, you could tell, he's been in the news a lot. He's had the little saga about him versus Arsenal fan TV. And then there was this voice clip, which could be fake, might be true, of him on the phone talking about biding his time to leave Arsenal. He just wants to do one more year and then he's going to move on to Barcelona, whatever. As if they'd even want him after a performance like tonight. He's been under scrutiny and you could tell it affected him tonight. He was really lacking confidence. There's times where his positioning... let's just say if he didn't have his pace, he would be a championship player, if you ask me. I know it's kind of harsh because there are games where he's brilliant, but tonight, he should be the one playing in a low league in Sweden, or their first league. I don't actually know where Östersund are at the moment. I'm guessing they're in the first top Swedish league. I don't really follow that, to be honest. They must be if they're in the Europa League, but... It's like, role reversal. Some of their players could have easily been in the Arsenal team tonight. But we got the job done, even though it was really poorly done. The 3-0 win away was enough to get us through. And that was actually potentially a bit of a trip up. That could have been a really tough fixture. It was absolutely freezing cold over there, and we've managed to get a 3-0 win, meaning that we can be comfortable at home. I'm just so grateful that we did do well against them away from home because, like I said, I would not be able to deal with it if we actually got knocked out. When we conceded that second goal, I literally tweeted LOL because that's exactly my reaction. When that goal went in, I was watching it on my second monitor here. I was playing Fortnite at the time, watching, because I obviously die all the time, watching the game. It went in and I just laughed. It's so comical. It really is. But, it's only going to get worse because if we can just about scrape through, how are we going to do against some of the other big clubs that are in the competition? Man, that's going to be fun. That is going to be very fun indeed. What else did I want to talk about tonight? Oh, Iwobi. Iwobi. Somewhat over the last few weeks, we've seen a little bit of an improvement, a bit of confidence here and there. He's useless. back to his usual rubbish runs and terrible first touches. And there was a point where we won the ball quite deep into their own half. They swarmed this poor defender who lost the ball. I think it was around 80th minute mark. And Iwobi has a massive chance to he takes on one defender and he's through. And he's definitely got the pace on this guy. And he quite literally kicks the ball at the defender, trying to knock it past him. He quite literally passes it to him. And I'm there just thinking, you've got two other teammates near you. There's 3 Arsenal players versus 1 defender. And you're telling me that you're just going to... Oh, Iwobi, man. And every time he does these things, just a wall of tweets. Iwobi is useless. Take him off. What's he doing? He isn't Arsenal quality. Maybe he will be one day, but right now he's not. Mkhitaryan, I didn't think did anything special tonight. But again, it's so early with Mkhitaryan. We don't know if he's ever going to reach the heights that we saw at Dortmund. Welbeck, what did he do tonight? Not much, to be fair. I thought Jack was okay. You can tell that he's a little bit rusty again. He's had a bit of a break. I mean, what else can I say? I think ultimately I want to say a massive congrats to Östersund. I thought that they really did their part. They really were a tougher team than we expected. Everyone expected Arsenal to just walk through this and, cruise through using reserve players. But they put up a fight, and I'm actually glad they won tonight. It's going to be going down in their history as one of their greatest nights in Europe, for sure. That was unbelievable. And the joy on their faces, especially the guy who scored the second goal, he was just elated. He ain't going to sleep tonight. He's going to be so over the moon about that. And they knew they weren't going through. But at that 2-0, there was hope. They genuinely thought, hang on, we can do this. And there was genuine chance that they could have done it. But before the game, and obviously when we scored our 4th of the tie, they knew they weren't going through. Tonight was just a bit of fun for them, but when they were 2-0 up, it became a real challenge. They could actually take us on here and get a 3rd goal. Imagine if they went 3-0 up. It would have been absolutely shocking. I will put that few minutes of madness down to just lack of experience from our youngsters in defence. I think Chambers and Holding really should watch this game back tonight and learn from their mistakes, because it was pretty shambolic at times. But yeah, it was just one of those games, wasn't it? It's not exactly nice to watch. It could have been brilliant. We could have smashed them 6-0 tonight if we actually played to the best of our ability. We know that we could destroy a team like Östersund, no problem. But it wasn't to be tonight. One player that caught my eye, though, was Maitland-Niles, playing down the middle again. A few little mistakes here and there, which is to be expected, but I'm seeing a lot from him that I like. He's physically very good, technically very good. I feel like once he gets a bit more strength in terms of just his actual build, he's still very young, he's still going to grow muscle, he's still going to become a bigger guy. Not that he needs more strength, but just a bigger stature, just a bigger guy. I think he could become a real force. And I like his defensive work, and he goes forward really well as well. He kind of glides. But he's so young, and of course this is his first real season where he's got game time in the first team. So promising. I'm looking forward to seeing, whether he can make it at Arsenal where so many others don't. It's going to be interesting to see if that position becomes available, because we do need a defensive midfielder. I think Maitland-Niles could potentially be that player, but for me, I still think we need a 6'3" holding midfielder that will literally sit in front of our defence. Patrick Vieira style, Gilberto style, someone like that to sit next to Jack Wilshere, Ramsey, whoever it may be. Granit Xhaka isn't that player, El Neni isn't that player, Ramsey and Wilshere obviously aren't that player. Then you got Mkhitaryan, Ozil. We don't have a proper DM. I'm talking someone like Nzonzi, William Carvalho. There's a few big centre defensive midfielders that are probably available if we really wanted to try and get them. Even Krikoviak, if I'm saying that right. I know he's on loan at West Brom right now, where I think he's done pretty well. But I know we were really interested in him when he was at Sevilla. He went to PSG instead. He, I think, could be ideal. There's definitely still quality player in there. We'd probably get him quite cheap because obviously PSG don't want him. Throw in a 15 million bid next season. He could be exactly what we need. A bit of brute, muscle, to sit next to our creative players. But really, there's not much else to say. I'm just glad. That that's how I'm feeling. I'm glad that this tie's over now because we can move on into the next round and hopefully we'll get a team that isn't crazy good. I'm talking that I want to avoid Atletico. I'm not sure about the other results, so I don't know if Napoli made it through or if it was RB Leipzig, but avoiding the big guys would be ideal. But then again, to win this competition, we are going to have to come up against a team of our quality or more. And it's going to happen sooner or later, so we might as well get it over and done with. We'll see how we get on. You know, it's one of those competitions that we haven't won. We obviously haven't won the Champions League either. And it's our last hope to get into the Champions League next season because we're not hitting the top 4 this year in the Premier League. We have to win the Europa League to get that position. So hopefully we can turn it around and do that and actually make this season not a complete failure, which at the moment it's proving to be. It's been a pretty shambolic season so far. But thank you for watching. Nothing too amazing tonight. We've lost the game, but we have progressed. And I will see you at the weekend for the big one against City, which I'm really hoping we're going to pull out a win. That's going to be absolutely huge.